So, weird thing. Every time I'm waiting for waiting to start stream, I'm always humming this menu music. It is stuck in my head at this point. I don't think I'll ever get this out of my head. Alright, we're right before the trial. We're gonna start in immediately. I'm gonna die. Oh, voices. As always, gotta remember. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? It's probably because this game is taking very long. Oh yeah, it definitely is taking a long while. Hang on, what voice did I do? How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Was it kind of like that? I don't know. I don't remember what voice, 3 streams per case usually. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really do much of a voice for Lana. Frankly, there's still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. I don't know, I can't check the VODs. I'm sorry! Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis! Just do 1 thumbnail per game IMO? Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, most of the reason I haven't posted the VODs is just because I don't know what the hell to do for thumbnails. I don't have the creativity to figure out what to do in that regard. Algorithm is against you anyway, so why bother with much effort for a VODs channel? Yeah, I guess that's true. But, you know, it's not even necessarily the algorithm or whatever. I want my VODs to be, like the thumbnails of them to be kind of interesting, you know? I don't want them to be just, like, bleh, samey all the time. But, whatever. Anyway, Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yeah? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. If you get big enough, you can outsource VOD thumbnails to the community. Never forget that. Ms. Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is... you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. It's true, I've seen some pretty good thumbnails come from the community for one channel I watch. I mean, if you want to see, like, a channel with good thumbnails for their VODs, Astral Spiff is one. He does a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's content, though, so I know you specifically won't like it. But the thumbnails are all good, and they're different with every VOD, unlike mine. But, that's probably because the person who does all of the thumbnails and stuff is, you know, actually good at their job. As far as I know, I don't think it's Spiff running the channel, but it could be. I don't know though. Garf, examine this, for it shall burn my eyes. What are you sending him something? No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright! I'll be with you the whole way! Oh, that was earlier when I was working on abilities. Yeah, I know that you sent me a bunch of D&D stuff, but I'll read that later after stream. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. Also, I feel dumb since the first game was originally NGBA. I don't know if we talked about this, though. It was? I didn't know that. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Simply Edgeworth. Ah, he's continuing his thought. Okay. The DS wasn't a thing in 2001. Did this game... No, yeah, no, it did come out in 2001, yeah. I'm pretty sure that it says on the title screen. I don't, but like, I don't know when the DS released. I was wee Bobby at the time. I was a little idiot child. That this case was in the DS remake of the first game, but you don't know about the GBA. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. If it's not in the GBA, I'm 90% confident in that. Ah, so this was a bonus thing that they added later. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution calls its first witness, Ms. Angel Starr, to the stand. The Cough-Up Queen? Right, I forgot she had a nickname. And also, incoming annoying voice. Haven't I seen you somewhere? she's giving food out in the middle of court. You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl! Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. Prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up! The judge is just like, wait, lunch break, hang on. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Ms. Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Hang on. No, actually, though, what? Ms. Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough Up? Cough Up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. I guess it's coughing up a confession is the joke. I see. That explains it, actually. Very well. You may continue with the description, Ms. Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. That would also explain why she was at the scene of the crime. The parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. I'm surprised we didn't get a map or floor plan until now, honestly. I guess it's not really... It hasn't been useful till now. We haven't really needed it, but still. Yeah, this is about accurate. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
God, you ass. If you can, then give them your worst, Ms. Starr. You ass. Wait, are they talking about me? Witness's account.
Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I said something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work.
That's quite an image.
Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car.
Very quickly. Yep, that's accurate. You could probably have seen that if you were on the other side of the fence.
The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Another hands thing. We have to figure out what hand. Where are the fingerprints? Ah, damn it, none. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Alright. How did you know this day would come?
I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
Lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? He was fired.
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
You sure? Very well, you may continue, Ms. Starr. Unbiased. The only people that say that are people that have biases they want to hide. So the inverse of karma? In what way? What do you mean? His boyfriend. He's the detective?
Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying.
I also love that she turns toward you to say that. Like, she wants you to know.
The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It is up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign. He said defense attorneys are like worms to him. Ayo, poly representation. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't say anything negative about that, considering how old this game is. Like, you would expect people in this kind of game to immediately be like, hang on, that's not right. Hold it. But I'm surprised they didn't actually make any bad remarks about that. Like, the judge said, nah, not for me. Although it might be for me. And then they just moved on. That's rare. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I am a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
My desk and chair are very loud. I'm so sorry. When I sent something, perhaps it was finally my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Stop jerking yourself off over there. You sent something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
What? I have no idea what that means. Same. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese.
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A green beard, greenhorn.
Then I must be hard yellowed and sharp as a tack. What? Judge, don't call yourself hard. Never. Never say that again, please.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
Bop. You people, I mentioned it once. My garish car, you mean?
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed with was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away.
The cheese that despawns if the weird route flag is set to true? What? A Delta reference? Lasagna. The lasagna for dinner, nice.
I am certain it was her.
Also, what is this look? If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
What? That was inspiring. No, it was nonsense is what it was.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be related to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
Yum. A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap! I took a picture!
Your Honor, that's a threat. Have this woman arrested and tried for contempt of court.
In fact, one of my lunch boxes is rigged with a camera, for some reason. Why? Fuck you, that's why!
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again! My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at that time? Well, I got all of that from just pressing, hence why I press everything now. Chief Prosecutor is holding a knife in her right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are by nature well-versed in the location of a man's vital organs.
What?
I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
Ooh, I want a chicken salad sandwich now. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Who isn't? Who isn't? What do you mean, who isn't? Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. Don't make me hungry, I already ate. I'm not the one doing it! You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Well versed in the position of vital organs. Yeah, I know. I know that's what you meant by who isn't. But what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Look, like, what? Are you insane? I know where they are. Yeah, I mean, like, most people know where, like, a heart is, but, like, if you're saying that you can stab someone in the heart in one try, why? Too late.
Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
I'd go for the lungs, much larger target. Well, the heart and the lungs are... one of the lungs, at least, are nearby, so I mean, like, even if you miss the heart, might as well at least try. Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that.
Question, what the... Nope. Next. There it is. Yeah, she's wearing gloves in this picture, so, that would explain the no fingerprints thing, I guess. Provided, assuming that she didn't do it. So if I miss the lungs and hit the heart, it'll be a happy little accident. Huh. Is there something weird in this picture? I'm trying to figure out. What's with the coat is what I want to know. Is that, is... back. I can't look at files right now. Weird. But I want to see whose coat that is. Is it Goodman's coat? Maybe? And if so, why the hell would she have Goodman's coat? Huh. So I guess just keep pressing. That's what they're saying. Oh.
I thought that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator.
No, yeah, no, that's not new text. I thought it was for a second. Yeah. But why does it want me to... It doesn't look like Goodman's coat given the lack of buttons. Yeah. I'm not sure, but what's with the coat? Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah. This is all stuff we've seen. I just... Why are they asking me to press? Did they just want me to get the picture? And, because I got that by just pressing. Am I not supposed to try and do something with it? And her saying that she was on the other side of the fence seems true as well, because you can see the fence, like, vaguely, but, you know, out of focus, but it's there. But is that also... You could also say that's supposed to be the shadows of the fence? I don't know. Is it supposed to be the fence casting a shadow, or is it supposed to be her on the other side of the fence? I guess... Yeah, I guess I'll present it and just see what it is, if that's the case. No. Yeah, so I think it is supposed to be, like, taken on the other side of the fence. Huh. She isn't holding the knife, which is also kind of getting me. But they could also, like, it could also be reasoned that she just put the knife away. But again, I guess I'll... Yeah, I guess I'll present it in case that's what they want me to go with. Yeah, okay, that's what they wanted me to go with. That's kind of a thing I have with this game sometimes, is like, I have like 5 different solutions to the problem, and I have to figure out which one they want me to actually go with. And you witnessed this. You saw Ms. Sky stab the victim with the knife.
As I have already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
Ooh, salmon. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photo. Look at this photo. I'm sorry. Every time. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skyfe not... Miss Skyfe? What? I combined Sky and knife. Then why is Miss Sky not holding the knife? Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. He said that out loud, too. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. Also, after last chapter, like, these kinds of jabs are now kind of painted in a friendly, like, in a more friendly light, I guess. Like, it's not them hating each other anymore. It feels more like them just jabbing at each other because they're, like, you know how you jab at your friends sometimes. Kula knows that feeling from me. I constantly do the same thing. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? He'd get called out. This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat?
But it's a black and white photograph. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You got a better idea? Mud. Simply mud. Sure, objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
Shrek killed this man. Why? 'Cause mud? That's it? That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Also, yeah, she still has the coat on in this picture, so it's just her coat. And she's not wearing it like a coat, which hurts me. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Also, very quick question, though. trying to remember names. Definitely haven't forgot Emma's name. Did not do that. But question, why is Emma allowed in the courtroom with me? She was practicing nurse in her spare time. But is there any rules against me just like taking anyone in court with me when I want? Like this? Like I don't know. That feels like something that would be a little restricted. The other can't speak. That feels like something that would have some kind of restriction. Like I wouldn't think I'd just be able to be like, "Yo, Emma, come on in with me." Ignore the security guards. They can't stop me. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Press. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of course the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It is the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Ms. Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah, right. Same. Up. Ah, too far. Damn it. There. So, considering this is a new piece of dialogue, definitely not gonna save just in case, but considering this is a new piece of dialogue, I'm gonna assume that this is what they want me to present something for. Murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Huh. Usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. Would that have anything to do with it? Because she picked it up at the scene? Sure, let's present that. Hey, I was right! Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Yeah, just the crowd, the crowd, just the singular mommy. That word has been ruined for me since the internet turned mommy into a different thing entirely. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. Mommy milkers, I hate you. I hate you. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon?
Oh.
This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. The only thing being milked is the sponge representing my anguish at this comment. What? That's a stretch. Did her lunches just fly out of the sky? Where did those come from? Order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Heart attack, yeah. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. I'd order such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Ugh. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That's the only thing the prosecution needed to prove. Nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing?
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Also, one thing about this sprite annoys me. The line on her chin goes underneath her hair. That's just a small little art detail that annoys me with this sprite. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to unsee that one stupid line now. You're welcome. Really now.
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman.
I hate you for it. Yes, good.
That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office.
I see that detail in other forms of media. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, but that detail... That's not a detail that they include unless it's meant to be an art style thing. That's just something that... Like, that's... I don't know. That just... Unless you're intentionally doing it for, like, an art style reason, I don't think it's a thing that you would want to do. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm sure the chief prosecutor has a grudge against the victim.
One more slip up and you may be excommunicated. Shush. I'm the boss here. I imagine it is trying to show their hair is relatively thin there, so you can still see the face through the hairs up to a certain point, anyways. Then why can't you see like her nose line? Like you can't see the ridge of her nose, or any of her eye or eyebrow, or her ear, or here, this part of her chin. Why is it just this one line? Because it's thick there. But why would they actively choose to have just this one teeny tiny line? If they wanted that detail, this single strand of hair here would be where they would have it, because that in my mind would be thinner. If you don't have long hair, you wouldn't get it. Right now I do have long hair. I need to get my hair cut. I don't care that you're the Archbishop. I'm the streamer. Shish. I can mute you. I can time you out.
Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge in the knife again and again.
You don't have real long hair. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Angel's deduction. Honest guy intended to murder. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know.
That's what I'm going to tell you about, Rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she is about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie! Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked.
Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim?
Her actions speak for themselves.
That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Ms. Skye called in there.
You have no proof that she didn't.
Huh. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? I'm gonna pull you out of the oven half-baked. There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone.
She might have written him a letter.
Come on, you could have tried public phone first at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge.
Rookie! I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See, we agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
The fuck? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this?
It's simple.
Why pretzel? I don't know. It feels like a Peppino quote, and I know nothing about Pizza Tower, let alone if Peppino even has dialogue. Yeah, I don't know Pizza Tower either. All I hear is people comparing it to Wario Land. That's about it. And also it has a good soundtrack. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright?
Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's sigh smells like a citrus fruit.
You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly?
We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done?
I know the Pizza Tower Twitter account had a funny interaction with the Celeste Twitter, but that's about it. How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people.
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know.
Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
Yeah, let me see. One knife wound. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cut and dry. Read the goddamn autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise!
Ooh, moss! Deltarune be like, I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Moss, yeah. There's moss in the corner of the room. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero, really!
What about my objection? No one noticed? Is it sorted by taste or color? What? Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right?
What? What? Why? Why did she have this? And how many lunches did they draw for this? Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like
blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
Her red muffler?
Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
Why? What? She's right. Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony.
Mr. Wright, this is our chance.
Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Yeah. What do I have? No scarf. Look at your own picture, bitch! Ms. Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. I love that Edgeworth is also on our side with this, like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You may be on my side here, but you're also a dumbass. And I cannot stand for a dumbass. I love him. Why does Edgeworth keep stealing Phoenix's thunder, though? Because he wants to be the smart one. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
But that can't be!
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations! Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
But it was there! A scarf! No, not that, but something red, really!
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
Most important part?
Wait, but he didn't say that out loud. The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. And also, apprehending the suspect. Also, I want to save.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side.
Yep, there's the save.
I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
Why? I don't know why I said against. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Not making that noise.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Let me see something real fast. So, quick quick question. So after she's done, she runs behind this partition, and then somehow while running away, she kicks over an oil drum, which if I remember was over here. So she goes over here, and then somehow runs out that door and kicks over something on the other side of the partition. Sure. Sure. I don't know if that's relevant, or what, but that's my immediate thought. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then? You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. Yes. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is this correct, Ms. Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain-link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing. The cough-up queen lunch lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. Oh yeah, it does have a... yeah, I thought it was up to the ceiling. I was gonna ask about that, but no, it doesn't go all the way up. So how did Ms. Sky not get away? She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word. So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else.
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean... Ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see, Ms. Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
Huh. I saw it all, how she tried to use the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Might as well press that. New topic. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone to the wall, but it was out of order, because I could totally see that somehow. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that...
oh wait, no, wrong voice. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence.
And when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Yeah. Yeah, so, about that map. Ms. Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Ms. Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Well, Ms. Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
Huh, I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me and I'll make you cough it all up.
Ahem. Let's look at the floor plans. What? What? How is she this dumb? Honestly, like, what? You were a detective at one point, right? How is it this easy to poke holes in your entire testimony? She do be a lunch lady. Yeah, maybe there's a reason she was kicked out of the force, honestly. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Ms. Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
What?
Yeah, and then the music. I love this music every time, by the way. Order, order. What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She is not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie the witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. I love the heart attacks they have when you find them out. Yeah. The witness lied about... order of events, or what she saw? What she saw, I guess? Order of events, I guess I'll guess next if this is wrong. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Ms. Sky using that emergency phone. Does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox?
Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Star lie like that?
Huh?
Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant?
Oh, dang, she's right.
I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone.
I see no room for doubt here.
You ordered the patooey on rice, right?
Mr. Wright, and I thought you had something there. Ugh. One more try. Heh, I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? Huh. Actually, maybe it's not even order events. Maybe where she saw it is referring to where she was standing when she saw this. Maybe that's what that means, because when I read where she saw it, I thought immediately that they meant, oh, it wasn't in the parking lot that this happened, even though clearly it did. But maybe where she saw it means that she just wasn't in B block when she witnessed this, she was somewhere else at the time. That's kind of what I want to go with now. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What's significant about this fact? Nothing, therefore it would be pointless for Ms. Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. But say the witness did actually see Ms. Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Ms. Star witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location. Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Ms. Star witnessed this crime was here. The security room? This is the only place where she could have been. Security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness not being part of the prosecutor's office, it couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Ms. Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order, order. Witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty. Is she talking about Ms. Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
I mean, why are they walking me through this? It's obvious. The picture was taken from this angle, so how the fuck, if she was over here, would that be possible? That's all it is. We don't need to go over this. It's obvious. The Star witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Distance to the crime, angle of view to the crime. Why the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change? The angle? What do you mean? Well, security guard station is on the second floor, and she would have a sort of more 3D view of the crime. This is important. Why? Really? Really? That's not... But that's exactly what I was going... What? What? Hang on a minute. I guess distance? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take for her to reach the scene of the crime. Ms. Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Ms. Sky? Well, witness?
You...
Yes?
You ordered the squid wheels, right?
Quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
So we're not mentioning the picture thing? We're just not mentioning that. Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
Jesus.
That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour. What picture? I only heard boysenberry. Hang on. She saw the crime here, correct? She was in the security room. Also, this has been updated now, but she was in the security room at the time. But this picture that she supposedly took is not from the security room. She's in B block taking this picture based on the angle. So what the fuck? No one's mentioning that? Unless she took the picture during this detour, which, I mean, I guess is possible, but why didn't we mention the picture?
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? Changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely. Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Yes. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make a pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. Yeah, I love sporks. Honestly, I very rarely use sporks, because, like, who uses them? But, you know, they are good. They're useful.
I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Ms. Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. But the spork knife... the spork knife? The spork knife? Excuse? What? Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. When do we defend the judge in court? Yeah, there's another judge that looks exactly like him in the judge's seat. Don't worry, Edgeworth becomes a new judge. That's funnier.
We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it. Who? Ah.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunch boxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Ms. Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo, a triple-decker! Oh boy, free lunch! Out of defense to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? It is bribery. Yeah, it is. It's bribery, but not with food. Or not with money, but with food. Decisive evidence.
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
I wish you would talk less. My throat is hurting. Witness, what is the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed.
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You can at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. Ah, so that's why the boyfriend in forensics 1, boyfriend in forensics 2, and boyfriends in forensics 3 roles are already taken. Let me guess, your other boyfriend? Yeah, God. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Decisive evidence. Let me at least examine the shoe. White enamel shoe bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana. Wait a minute, there was blood on the bottom, huh?
This blood, it's my sister's, right?
It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Poor sis. Ah, there's blood here too.
On the sole of the shoe? That's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood, it's horrible.
Huh. This blood might be an important clue. Huh. Let me see something real quick. Death due to loss of blood, 1 knife wound, died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Though the death wasn't instant then. Huh. Interesting. I'm gonna start pressing for now. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This when the suspect is admitting she did it? What false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr? Let's just get this over with. I'm gonna erase your evidence. Now to the matter of the victim's shoe. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime.
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. Yeah, that itself is a crime. So you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman.
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
The other blood type matched the defendant. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, Rookie?
Huh?
Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. This is just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was gonna say that. Flawless decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water.
I can't talk.
She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
What if she had a bloody nose?
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with the shoe?
Problem? This is critical. Is there any problem with the victim's shoe? Sure. I'm not imagining things. I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. Clear contradiction. Also, that looks like pasta sauce.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, Rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Shows the problem with this evidence. I can't save... I mean, I'm just gonna go with the fact that blood was stepped in. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe.
Don't mess with me, Rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. That's a threat.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? I still can't save. That's just a straight-up threat, yeah. Huh. Miles, that's Edgeworth going into the parking lot. Yeah, died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Do we have a time when the murder actually happened? Like, obviously we have 4 p.m., but I don't know. Is there any way of telling... God, I don't know where I'm going with this. Is kind of just what's happening here. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. My thing is, like, he did it... If this died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m., so this might be saying that he didn't... Oh, right, I can... Yeah. Date and time of death, between 4 and 5:30. So it doesn't say that it... whether it was instant or not. Yeah, it says nothing about whether or not it was instant. Huh. I mean, it was a loss of blood, so it probably wasn't instant, so, Your Honor, the victim just took the L. But the fact that it's loss of blood, it couldn't have been an instant death. Because, you know, that's kind of how loss of blood works. Also, why is this in the evidence still? Yeah. But he was stuffed in the trunk. If he was stuffed in a trunk, how could he have stepped in his own blood? That's my other question about this. Traces of the victim's blood. I mean, I don't think that's contradictory. That makes sense. I'm just wondering why there's no traces of the defendant's blood. As far as I know, the victim's memo isn't really going to do us much good, because what does that mean? Guess I'll present the picture under the assumption that I want to go with he was stuffed in the trunk, how could he have stepped in his own blood? And this is the only piece of evidence, I think, that actually you could go off of with that. Because it doesn't say he was stuffed in the trunk in the autopsy report. None of the other evidence could lead to that. But this photo is her presumably stuffing him in the trunk, so... Problem lies in the footprint.
The footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Not what I was going with, but hey. Aha. As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order. Well, witness.
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Okay, Edgeworth. I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm not saying that.
Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason. Aha. You don't mean. Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason, and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe.
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please.
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor? Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well... I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
A photograph?
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. It's just so anime. You... That pink ginger, the stuff in the center, is really good. I'm assuming you're talking about that lunch, but I have no idea what pink ginger is. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. When will it be too... Then it'll be too late. Look at this... Stop saying it. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose we should have... I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. Why is that there? What? Hang on, what? Problem in this photograph is here. What's this? Something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. Don't stop with your foot stuff. Stop. Ever since Larry Butts established giving objections after the verdict as a legal precedent, verdicts are a suggestion now. Honestly, honestly, yeah. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's the internet, what did you expect? I don't expect it from you specifically. Sorry, Ms. Starr, but it's not gonna be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to this case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. She said muffler. Ms. Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ah.
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence.
Oh.
I'm not doing the scream, but she throws her lunches everywhere. Also, why does she have so many, and how does she have so many? Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
To suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. Bag of holding. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Ooh, that was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? I mean, IRL am hungry. It's been an hour and a half, and then there's a to be continued. I'm not sure if I want to stop because of the to be continued, but it's only been an hour and a half. So that's kind of... yeah. Like, this would be a really short stream if that were the case. Like, it depends on how long the next segment is gonna be, you know? I'm assuming nobody here has any kind of estimate, though, for how long the next segment would be. The silence in chat is deafening. And also kind of answers my question that nobody really has an answer. In that case, 69 minutes. Shush. You just want to say 69. I guess, yeah, I guess I'll just keep going. You weren't paying attention. How dare you not pay attention to my streams? Wait, hang on a minute. I said that jokingly, but you're a mod. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna continue, to be continued, be damned, and just kind of continue for now, because I don't want my stream to just be an hour and a half. Usually my streams are, like, at least 2 hours, you know?
Mr. Wright.
Huh? What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there?
Pretty much. Half the people in chat are mods. There's more people watching than just the 4 that it says, I'm pretty sure. But, you know, there's only just the 2 of you and Jar Jar who are actually talking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with lurking. I do usually when I watch streams. It's just that the people who are people without accounts, I assume. I don't know. I don't really care, if I'm being honest, who is and isn't watching. Like I said, lurking is whatever to me. It's you can lurk for all I care. I don't really care too much about, like, whether or not people are talking in chat. The 2 of you are mods, though, because the 2 of you talk more than most people. And also because I know you IRL. I don't know what technically counts as a viewer. I don't either. I don't know what Twitch considers a viewer. It's weird. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. What happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Huh. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn this trial around, right?
Did you time out Jar Jar for 69 seconds and delete all his messages? Why?
Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. I didn't delete his stuff. 5 messages were deleted by a moderator, it says. So what messages and by who? Also, I accidentally clicked through that, sorry. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least.
Officer Marshall!
Thought I'd come take a look, see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got a home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? That's what's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have really been on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Officer Marshall, the whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
You don't say. I know that just beat all. I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler.
What?
At the award ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at this crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf.
So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this.
So what are we here... so what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs, ooey. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. Knees weak, arms are heavy. Mom's spaghetti. I didn't click, that just went. It can't be. This can't happen.
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. Huh. It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me? Who? Who? Who's there? Oh, what? Who are you? What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Stop, please, Jar Jar, actually stop. I like Deep Rock Galactic as much as anyone else, but please stop spamming it. Please.
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Why? Why are you people like this? Ah, I tried to unpin. Worse, a youth pastor, probably. Who on earth is he? This guy's giant, by the way. Oh, it's you. Yeah, and... What voice am I gonna do for this guy? Huh. I don't really know what to do, because I have a lot of deep voices at this point, and this guy's gonna have another deep voice, probably. He's just standing there, stupidly. You know what? Since you made the SpongeBob reference, Patrick. Oh, oh. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late, Unji. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Unji? How you been? Swim much these days? That's as close as I'm gonna get for Patrick. Oh, hello, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy schmizzy, Unji. My boy, you have to... Nope. My boy. You have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge. I mean, hey, it's not Patrick because I can't do Patrick's voice, but it still works. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha, so you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks. So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's a top-ranking police officer in the entire district. He just... Okay, I'm not clicking or anything. He just takes a while to talk. Name's Gant. David Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Sounds like he wants to drown Phoenix or something. Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor little fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Ms. Star wasn't just seeing things. How to speak Patrick. 1 yawn, 2 speak through the yawn. Yeah, that's true. When the crime occurred, Ms. Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed in that exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. Come on. Come on, talk. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth. How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? What? Did you just get an entire fucking lullaby in chat? How? Why? Now wait a minute, Worthy. Read it. Be sleepy. I'm telling you to wait, or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature is there. Lyles Edgeworth. That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had... Your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'd expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh, this is automatic. I'm not doing this. It's also really slow. Well, before I do that, I want to check the label. There's a small tag on this knife. It seems to say DL incident. I mean SL92. What does this mean? Well, I've heard something similar. DL6. Oh, DL6 incident fame. I made the joke and yeah, I beat them to it. How does cutting your finger stop you from pointing? I don't know. But it's strange. Huh? What is? I'm not certain, but I get the feeling I've seen this somewhere before. Letters like this, or letters that looked a lot like this somehow. That note, I'm assuming they're referring to. Also, this is something that I can't investigate, but it looks like a fingerprint of some kind. Well, let's open her up. Ah! Don't scare me like that! I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade, the tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between prosecutors and the police, and this knife? Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really. Department in disorder. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Section 69 of Article 420 of the Among Us Conventions make it illegal to point while injured in a courtroom. I hate that you typed that. I hate that you typed that and then pressed enter on your keyboard for everybody in chat to see and read. Why would you do this? Why do I let you moderate? Why would you pin it? You annoy me. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. The detective was killed by the police department. See, what a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this case, to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Uji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. Order. Anyway, we at the police department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top-secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. Remember the beginning cutscene? There was 2 people with knives. Yeah, that's true. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Excuse me, special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. And why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on in the department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto. Maybe there's something about the knife that'll give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto. Ah, evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. Yeah, I know. So how are things down in the department? I'm pretty sure it's the note they're referring to, but I'm still pressing because I want to know. Something bad happened at the police department too, huh? Got a good look in your eyes there, Righto, my boy. Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen. Why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? that look. That look is just, I'm done with you. No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. We know when the victim died. We know where the victim was found, so how about just how they were killed? Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing, with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit, we're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you have? A knife! No! What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. It seems like I'm gonna have to press this a bit harder. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place, and a murder at our place, at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this case, so I can't talk much about it. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand. I do understand, Righto. Well, if you can prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I'd better find it to get to the bottom of this. Two detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife! What was it doing there? I better check this knife out. I already did, I know. It's the tag. Let me see. Let me... Ooh. Yeah, it's possible that the tag was upside down, and when he tried to like write it down or something like that. Let me rotating with the mouse. Yeah. So it looks like 6-7S when it's upside down. So then this note 6-7S. Well, I think we found our answer. Wait a second. At last, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Haha, an honest-to-goodness what do you mean from Udgy. This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important why. Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S, 12-2. Your Honor, It's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Mind blown? What? This isn't a difficult trick. This is this is like basic shit. We can rotate paper. How? Yeah. I don't want to bring up Danganronpa again, but like, first game, first case. If you know what Danganronpa is, I don't think I need to mention anything else about this paper. Order. Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? His knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say? Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. This knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Something happened at the police department, too. Yeah, so already went through this. Detective was killed at what a mess, 5:15. It's not officially linked to this case here, so I can't talk too much about it. So we're trying to find a link then, even though it is very much definitely linked, if you have any common sense at this point. Found at the crime scene, wrapped in the defendant's muffler, small tag attached. Yeah. I mean, why can't I just present the knife here? I wanna look at this real quick, just cause he's a funny boy. Anyway, yeah, I still don't know why he's there. Entered at 5:12. Didn't mean to click that. The word muffler overheard during a call made to M at 5:18. Yeah, so yeah, this was after Edgeworth got there, yeah. I was just cross-referencing those times for something in advance, just in case there was something going on there. Makes sense, though. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't... Two detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, one at the police department. Yeah. It was evidence from a case that was stolen from the department's evidence room. So the knife was stolen on the day of the murder. I don't know what to go with here. My brain just isn't working right now. I assume whatever we're presenting has to be presented on this text box since it's a new one.
don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again? Court record? That's the autopsy report. I assume that's what they're referring to? No? Court record? Weird that I can't investigate the tip of the knife. But... yeah. What's that supposed to mean? It reminds me of a similar code case number. Maybe I should check the court record again. I'm assuming that's because it's going to have like a similar code or something. But where would you check the court record? How do you see the court record? Whatever. I guess... I guess I'll just present the knife and see what happens here. Nothing good. Maybe I present on this text box? I don't know. Nah, not that either. Wait a minute. Hang on. So, so the evidence screen is the court record? I see. Weird. So, I guess I'm looking for something similar. SL-92. Why can you re-examine this? It's the same text, but why is there no checkmark anymore? Weird. Yeah, it doesn't take much to amuse her, yeah. But... huh. So, yeah, it's a date, obviously. The date on the note is the same as the date on the parking stub. So there's that. Huh. Oh, you can't rotate that anymore. Rotationless. Yeah. No rotation? Can I not open the phone again? Oh, it's... Yeah, I can, but it's just very finicky. It's the small button. Phoenix, really don't want to push the button. Nope, I was trying to press the arrow. But yeah, the only thing I can think is that the date matches this date, and of course SL9 matches this. Is there anything I'm missing with the knife? Like, am I just too tunneled on the tag? Is there something else I'm missing on it? Because from the looks of it, it's just the tag. Which is weird, because there's clearly some kind of prints or something here. Huh. So if I am trying to figure out the date, I'm not sure whether I would be doing the note or the parking stub, but I'm just gonna try both in case. Not the note. And not the stub either. Stolen from the department's evidence room. Yeah, I mean... Present the note here, I guess. Nope. At this point, I don't know what they want me to go with. Also, is this before I actually check this? Yeah. There's probably somebody yelling at their screen right now, trying to tell me what to do. But if that's the case, there's a chat. Unless you're watching from the VOD in the future, if I ever end up actually posting the VOD. Yeah, no, nothing with the date. How can you say there's no connection? Yeah, I did find a connection. Very clearly, they were at the same time. There's fucking evidence in the... This is all stuff from we've already seen. really, Jar Jar. I am very close to actually just, like, straight up banning you at this point, because you will not fucking stop with the Deep Rock Galactic. I understand, it's a very good game, but please stop! Imagine if I had to present this somehow. Von Karma, yeah. Also, are we not going to talk about the fact that the blood is only of the victim? Even though, supposedly, the defendant cut her hand? Huh. I can't figure this out. I really cannot. Like, this is the problem with this game, is when you get stuck, you just flail around like an idiot until something happens. Did you already present the note? Yes. Yeah, please look it up. I don't want to be stuck on this for the entire rest of the stream. This is fucking stupid. Like, what do you mean I need to prove that they're connected? Do you have any common sense? Obviously they're connected. It happened at the same time. Is that not enough for you? What hasn't been presented aside from the badge? Well, I haven't presented the Blue Badger. I haven't presented the Prosecutor Trophy, Goodman's ID. I haven't presented the autopsy report, the cell phone, the floor plan, this photo, or the shoe. I guess I'll present the shoe, why not? Nothing. Wait, what? I'm waiting. The trophy was awarded on the day the evidence was stolen? Yes? Have you presented the ID yet? No. Like, I see nothing about SL9. There is a 9, but where's an SL in here? I guess you could look at 218 as SL dash, but that's a stretch. At the location the evidence was stolen? What, I guess I'll present that? Nope. Maybe it's the wrong text box. Still no. Yup. Accidentally raised the volume of the music. Oops. But yeah, ugh. Two detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife, what was it doing there? I better check this knife out. Yeah, I did. Like,
It was stolen from the department's evidence room. He is saying go to the pressing part. I what, pressing this? The knife was stolen, but on the day of the murder. It was a murder weapon, yeah. It was from a case long solved. This knife was stolen on the day of the murder and found in the exhaust pipe of Edward's car. It says he can't say anything, that dialogue. This one? Press this. How can you say there's no connection? Because I'm the chief of police, I can't just say anything I please, you understand? If you can prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Yeah, I did find it. Like, I have checked this goddamn tag 1,000,000 times. What? What am I supposed to do? You're looking it up, right? Do you have the guide? Does it what does it say? Because I've pressed this dialogue. Like, and this dialogue wasn't here originally. That was something I unlocked, so I assume that's important. Rotate the knife and examine the switch on the side. Yeah, press grant on the statement. This knife was evidence in a case it was stolen from the department's evidence room. Yeah, I have pressed him on this 1,000,000 times. Press grant on the statement. A detective was killed at the police department. I'll tell you one thing. Where the victim was found, it's supposed to be. Where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? His knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to town in this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. You mean to tell me that I had to press that statement multiple times to ask multiple questions? That's fucking stupid. Not officially linked. Sure it ain't. But that's still not enough? Fine, what does it say? Press Gant on the statement that's not officially linked to this. So now you have to press him again. Ah! I hate it when pressing people repeatedly is the solution. Why can't it just be using the fucking evidence? Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Wright. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. We also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence.
You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right there.
Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim in the police department.
See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all.
Can we get the information unofficially?
Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all.
What, really? Who would have guessed?
Finally. I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department.
You're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything?
Oh, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly.
Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him.
Alright, guide. I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim. Choose the victim's ID number. I see.
Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number?
Huh? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that.
Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all.
We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189.
Let me guess. Yep.
Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 882. I can't do it.
You didn't even get the first number right.
Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything?
Tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. I think...
Meaning?
It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean?
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells us something. Oop.
Witness?
What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night.
No, it's just... I got confused. And this is news. Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. It's savage, yeah. The police department, the prosecutor's office, 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here.
Oh, is it yours?
No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman.
Shame on you, Righto. Personnel IDs are top secret.
Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189.
And this means what exactly?
Huh?
Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I've forgotten.
Didn't even get the first number right. Again!
2 detectives, 1 ID. Yeah.
The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that?
Oh, ho, ho. Sharp as attack, Righto. Sharp as attack.
But wait,
Detective Goodman is our victim.
Wrong voice at first.
He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot.
Yet, a detective, Bruce Goodman, was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room, at the exact same time. That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location.
Order, order. Chief, what does this mean?
No, what I want to know is why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case.
No, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered.
Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case.
Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight. The grave error? Mr. Edgeworth. They're yours.
What? How? How dare?
We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news.
Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! The guy he kicked out. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him?
According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe.
But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident.
Detective Bruce Goodman, murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report.
Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. Mean.
In any case, this is a serious error. A gross negligence in duty on your part, Worthy.
But, sir, you could have submitted that report this morning in the court as evidence. Then Yeah, hello? Hello?
No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say unworthy.
What?
Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, huh?
Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? He took that long to think of that burn.
Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Righto, my boy.
Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! Big brain Gant.
It seems we have come to the end of this trial.
Oh, by the way, if you want a reading for how inaccurate the Twitch viewers the Twitch viewers count is, it says 0 currently. And clearly, based on the fact that people are still commenting, there are not 0 viewers. I don't know why. Twitch is just stupid. That's why I don't pay attention to it usually, and why you guys shouldn't either. I'm just proving a point from earlier.
It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, what with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December.
It says 3 here? That makes it even more inaccurate! If it can't be synced between viewers, that's even more stupid. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part.
Mr. Edgeworth,
please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. That's the last thing I do.
You'd better get results this time, really.
You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution is requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Whatever your punishment is for this, I hope for your sake it is not decisive.
Be here too. So then why is it 0 on my end?
Very well, court is adjourned.
To be continued. There's no button to refresh the viewer count, like, manually, by the way. So, I can't make sure that it's accurate by refreshing, which is just dumb. But anyway, yeah, this time, it's been an hour, since the other to be continued, so I think I'm actually done this time. Especially after being stuck for so long, because that, I hate getting stuck in this game. Because the game tries to point you in the right direction, you know? But if you don't get what they're trying to point out to you, then you're just stuck, and it comes down to you just having to do like random shit over and over until you just stumble on the answer or until you look up a guide. That's my biggest annoyance, honestly, with this game. Other than that, I love this game. But if you're stuck, then you're just stuck. There's no way around it. I don't know. A good stream was had by all. Except Binks. Yeah, because you had to mute him.
But anyway, I guess I'll see y'all later. Was gonna say what? Except Binks. You got that? It was beat to you? Yeah. Adios. See y'all later. Good night. Bye.